we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very excited about our next guest. Would you like to know why?
Well, it's not because it's 420.
No.
So I would imagine it has to do with
No,
reading
I didn't
or
even
books.
realize it was 420. Of course, you would nothing. Anyway, my point is that I believe that here on the show, things like, last week we had in JPEckrich.
That's true.
Who is a playwright.
That's right.
Someone who's creative.
So you're talking about artistic, creative people.
Right, I'm saying
expressive people.
Probably bring more to that to the show. So you have brought in an author.
Right.
I would like you to introduce our guest.
Well, I want to thank Rich for this connection, Mr. Brolo Jones, for hooking this up. But put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for St. Louis's own author, JPEckrich.
Yes!
That's right. Now, you have a few book signings coming up on this book, and let's talk a little bit about that. Are you an author?
I am.
And is this now, have you made money as an author before this?
No, actually, this is my first book.
This is your first book. So what made you go this direction? What was the inspiration for this?
Oh, my mind's always wondering, but actually it all got started when I was an over-the-road truck driver, and I would usually drive at nights when the traffic is a lot slower.
Very late. Yeah.
And so the wheels got turning late night. There's nobody to call and talk to, so I just kind of started getting ideas, and the ideas were really good, so I started writing them down.
You're not writing on paper while you're driving the truck, are you?
Shh.
What the hell's going on?
Hey, don't tell DOT about that,
Dictate
will
that.
you?
You've got voice memo stuff now. What are you doing?
I can imagine that, like Jake Jeremiah's driving, right? He turned on voice memos, is like, I'm at 55 miles an hour. I'm going to write a book called The Second Stone Age.
Boom. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And what I'm thinking it's going to be about a young couple. And they have to restructure the way they live and survive after losing many modern day conveniences.
Wow.
Yes. See how it came
I love
together?
that.
I like that. It's probably a lot better than what I had, but
Right.
I appreciate that.
My second Stone Age was when I was 17.
Oh, wow.
And I that was the second time I got stoned in my whole life.
Okay, stop with those.
What?
Nothing. You're being rude to the guest.
What are you talking about?
All right, so what is the book? So the book is The Second Stone Age, right?
That's correct.
So what is it about, seriously?
It's a science fiction book, and basically it follows the life of a young married couple by the name of Jacob and Natalie. And what happens are aliens come to planet Earth, and they take something from us. I can't tell you what, because it would... Yeah, I know it.
All right.
Ruin the book,
Now I
though.
got to go read the book.
Of course, that's the point.
Bummer.
okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't do the whole spoiler alert thing. Sorry.
Yeah,
so,
no, it's your book. Why would you?
Yeah, right. So
you don't want to do that.
Basically, what they take from us, though, it really makes life tough. And now these two have to learn how to live life without all the modern day conveniences that we have now.
I see.
So the basic necessities like food and water, shelter, clothes even, are going to be hard to come by. And finding these things and having them is going to be the difference between life and death.
So, yeah, no matter who you are, if you're a doomsday prepper, you're like, oh, man, I want this book.
Yes.
And if you're somebody who's like a science nerd, you're like, oh, my God, I want this book.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if
It hits a broad, broad
it's a very broad audience. I think it's smart as
We
an
don't
author to
hit
do
broads
that.
on this show,
Wow.
okay?
Sorry
Seriously,
about
we
that.
don't.
All right, okay.
I meant chicks with gams. All right.
Could have warned me about that before I came on, but, hey.
We're just, folks, listeners, we're joking.
I know that you have a couple of book signings coming up, and some. Are you doing a little bitty like regional book tour or some sort of local tour of the book?
Yeah, I am. Actually, it starts off April 25th.
Okay.
I will be at the Jefferson County Library, Windsor branch. It's in Barnhart, Missouri. It's my hometown, so
Nice.
I thought it'd be kind of cool to do one out there. It's going to be April 25th from 1 to 3. And then I will go the next weekend, will be May 2nd. I will be at Barnes & Noble at the St. Peter's location.
Oh, very good.
And then the following Saturday, they're all from 1 to 3, just so nobody gets confused. They're all from 1 to 3. May 9th, which is the following Saturday, I'll be at Barnes & Noble at the West County Mall.
Excellent.
And then we will finish up May 16th at Hometown Books in Eureka, Missouri. So, and the reason I really wanted to be in Eureka is this book actually, the main storyline pretty much takes place in Eureka, Missouri.
Oh, I didn't know that. Nice.
So, yeah, local author, I wanted to kind of keep things here. The whole goal was if this ever gets to be put into being a movie or a miniseries or something,
right.
bring some money to St. Louis, and be kind of cool to bring stuff like that to our hometown.
Well, I'm curious about the process. So we have another break with him, don't we?
Right. Well, here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
When we come back, you're going to talk process.
Okay.
Then you and I are going to do cold readings.
Oh, we are.
We're going to do cold readings.
Dramatic readings?
Cold dramatic readings from the book.
Okay.
Because honestly, when it comes time to record the VO for the book,
right.
which he's going to need.
Yeah, he's going to need that.
He's going to need
You want the book to be on tape.
Right.
You want the book to be available in audio form, right, don't you?
Sure.
In some way,
He's going to need voices behind a microphone that have
really
a little
is.
bit of experience.
I'll be Natalie.
I'm just saying. Okay, great. Wow, now, since we've already cast it, stay with us. It's the John and Kane Show. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for our guest, Jeremiah Eckrich.
All right, Jeremiah.
The book is called The Second Stone Age.
That's right. And this, as your first effort, there's a process in creating a book, getting it published, and the whole nine. And I know that was a learning process for you.
Oh, absolutely.
So start it off. You obviously you're writing while driving overnight with a multi-ton vehicle. And then you got a story together, and you then submitted this to a publisher. Now, pick it up from there and tell us your experience from that point.
Right. Actually, well, what I did was I self-published. So,
okay, very good.
And that actually makes the challenge about 1,000,000 times harder.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the big money behind me to support my efforts.
Right.
So it's all my effort to get this thing out there. So, that actually makes it 1,000 times harder than you could ever imagine.
And we love to help you get the message out on this. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a banner ad up on the Indio Radio website. We're going to make sure that people have a visible representation of this new book, and then we're going to have them link to where you want it linked to from indioradio.com so that people can easily find this book and easily purchase this book on the platforms you have available online.
Oh, fantastic.
And so what are those platforms, by the way?
Well, actually, you can get this book at barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com. The publisher is Ex Libris.
Okay.
You can go to exlibris.com to get the book. But when they go to any of these, you can get it in paperback, hardcover, ebook.
You can get it ebook. So
yes.
Kindle and Nook and all that stuff?
Yes. Yep.
Nice.
Absolutely. And the fantastic part about that is the book on an ebook form is only $2.99.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Beautiful.
So I wanted to keep the prices down because I wanted people to be able to afford the book.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to go with another book later, now you've saturated, people know who you are. You know what I mean? When you keep that cost low in the beginning initial push, now you're talking about larger distribution because, it's much more affordable. And this is great because it's a local story, fictional science fiction, but it takes place locally here in the St. Louis area.
Right.
So we've learned about the book.
We have.
We have the basic story.
Now, we didn't even look inside the book. Now, you're just going to flip to a page?
Well, hang on a minute. So actually, the author is going to tell me when I stop. So
okay,
I'm going to say go. He's going to say...
It's like Vegas when we're telling you to pick a card.
And
we're going to pick a page.
Right. So I'm good. So I don't know what I'm going to read. I don't know where I'm going to get into it. It's pretty exciting.
We really don't.
So, Jeremiah, are you ready? Here we go.
I have really bad luck, and I'll probably stop you right at the part where I don't want you to tell anybody about.
Oh, and that's
the
fine.
big part.
And you're the author. You're the author. You can actually do that.
Yeah,
okay?
no, for sure.
So here we go. Say stop. Here we go.
Stop.
Oh, here we go again.
Stop.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Remember, he wanted it right in the beginning. He didn't want the whole thing.
I know.
Plots to be revealed.
Left side or right side of the book?
Let's go left side.
Left side.
We're going to go left side.
All right.
Here we go.
So you start from the top, and I'll take it over the next paragraph.
Here we go. She looked at him to get directions for what he would want her to do, but none came. So she stood as close to him as she could. In the quiet, she could hear voices, but couldn't make out what they were saying. Jacob again put his finger to his lips, then motioned for her to get behind him. She did as he directed. As she stayed behind him, they crept closer to the people she could hear but couldn't see. Taking good care to keep out of sight, the two of them tried to listen to what the two men were saying.
Wow, that's very, very NPR-ish. It was an argument between 3 men and 2 others outside a collapsed barn. The 3 men were trying to steal from the farmers, and the farmers were trying to protect what was theirs. After a few moments of shouting and yelling, one of the attackers struck one of the farmers, and a fight ensued. It was brutally vicious. Trying to block her view, Jacob pushed Natalie back a little so she turned her sight in another direction. It was then she saw 3 beautiful horses out in the field. She was struck by how graceful they were until a thought occurred to her. Those horses could be very valuable to them.
See, now I want to find out what happens next.
Yeah, see? Look at that.
Wow, that was a perfect place to read. I know right where you're at. So
I know.
It's like, I want you to read more.
See, your appearance on this show, this lives as the podcast. We talked to you about how valuable all this stuff could be. You put this up on your website. People know exactly what your book's about. They know exactly how to link up to it. They know where to buy it. They know at indioradio.com there's a banner ad. They can just simply click and actually get directed to where they can buy your book.
And what I would love to have happen, I would like the listeners to vote on whose voice they would love to hear the book read in.
Yeah, would it be mine or John's? And then we'll find out. Then we'll have someone, whoever it would be, read this so that you have the book on tape. So you have the ebook, right? You got the
Right.
Nook and the Kindle. You got it on a paperback, right? It's available Barnes and Noble and Amazon and all that. But you're missing the audio representation of the book.
There you go. We'll take a
Right.
fan vote then.
Put your hands together
That's
for
right.
our guest, Jeremiah Eckridge.
Jeremiah, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
The author of The Second Stone Age. And Jeremiah, just so you know, normally people choose Cain. They just do. He's got that much more...
You see what he's doing?
He's got that much
see what he's
better
doing
voice
now?
than I do.
You see how he's doing it?
Yeah.
He's laying it out there so that he's baiting the others to be like, wait a minute. You mean there's an improper imbalance of those going to Cain? We need to tip the scales a bit and go more towards John.
I win by my attitude.
Is that what it is?
Not by this voice that he has. You know what I mean? That's all it is.
I assert
All right.
you don't win by attitude either.
You know what? We'll talk during the song.
Thanks, guys, for having me on. Appreciate it.
Jeremiah, thank you for coming in.
We'll be right back, John and Kane Show.